Welcome to Howling at the Moon. I'm your host, Heatherleigh Strom, and today I want to introduce you to Gracie Myers. Gracie is an incredible international artist. She studied art in Italy at the Accademia Albertina in Turin. I hope I didn't butcher that too badly. And she also studied commercial art at the Art Institute of Pittsburgh. But her work is more than just art. It's a spiritual movement. Each work of art is encoded with light frequencies, channeled from spirit, and designed to inspire healing and peace, create sensations of safety and bliss, and to elevate spiritual spaces with transformative energy. And her work can be used as a tool for meditation, chakra alignment, and emotional healing. Gracie's mission is to uplift humanity through healing art, intuitive mentorship, and transformative tools that connect individuals to higher states of consciousness. So let's welcome her to the show. Gracie, thank you so much for joining us today. I am really excited to hear your story and how art has transformed your life and how you became spiritual around art. Please share with us your story.
Thank you so much, Heather, for having me as your guest. And, the Colors of Consciousness is very unique. I created other brands, and I'm trained traditionally as a commercial artist and a fine artist. But this happened by surprise. So I have always been very spiritual. I was born into a spiritual family. My mom and two of my uncles early on recognized she's an old soul. And I have the family clairvoyant gift. So that was made apparent and accepted and taught to me from infancy and beyond. And then I realized that I had art talent, and my 7th grade teacher said, "You should consider a professional art career. You've got some talent, girl." And so I went into art from there and had a lot of fun commercial art jobs and just kind of paint acrylics for fun. And I exhibit those things too. But what happened, Heather, was with the Colors of Consciousness, so it was November 11th of 2011. So it was that magical spiritual 11-11-11.
Wow.
And yeah, I had been working with an Arcturian channel, and I just could not get enough of her teachings. And so I was meditating every day and going outside sun gazing every day and listening to these transmissions before bed and upon awakening. And she was teaching us that the divine feminine returned on 11-11-11. And so it's no surprise that, these titles that I created are extremely feminine in nature and extremely like divine feminine titles. And so I was outside and I was sun gazing the afternoon of 11-11-11. And all of a sudden I started getting these vivid third eye visions, and a sense of overwhelming bliss came upon me. Sometimes there would be saints and angels that would show up, and I felt like, the Christ consciousness vibration was like sitting beside me. I felt like angelic vibrations, just blissful, etheric visions. And I recognized quite quickly that these were not just visions, that these were transformational healing portals. And so,
Wow.
yeah, so, it was astounding. And so I would go take a little break and run into my art studio and do like a really like 5 minute, vivid sketch in, or vivid digital, representation of the vision. And so, and I was like, wow, this is amazing. It feels so good. And I can tell that my guides are coming forth, and it was happening really rapidly. And so within a couple of hours, I had hundreds of these visions in these quick Photoshop renditions. And after I, kind of came down from that whole download, I'll call it a divine download transmission for, a couple of hours, I was just like, wow, that was such a gift. Like that must have been my destiny to stumble upon this, if you will. And I started to post them on my Facebook at the time, and I wasn't in with a lot of spiritual people. It was like colleagues and friends from high school and family, and people were making fun of it and saying like, are you tripping on acid or something? And
Mushrooms. Yeah.
and I was like, no, this is like natural DMT or something coming through my third eye. And I probably lost like half my followers. I mean, not that they blocked me or anything, but they were just like, what? She's so weird.
Yeah, they start to
And
tune you out. Yeah.
yeah. And so, and I just kept it going. And some of these titles are really, like this one does look like an acid trip or something. And, like here's one with, Buddha coming through, and it's the
Wow.
lotus portal. And
Yeah.
so it's the rainbow body. And I actually felt like the Buddha was perched beside me in a meditation pose, and I was like receiving. And so that's why I thought, this is more than an art brand. This is a healing modality. And I had a close friend who since crossed over, and she was battling cancer, and she kept one of my titles by her bed table. And she was like, Gracie, I don't know. There's something about, it was one of these kind of alien ones. And
Yeah.
she said, it just makes me feel like so blissful and
Beautiful.
like
Yeah.
healing vibes. And I was honored because I was like, wow. So it's not just me. It's actually, it's when you view the art, it's not just art. It is art, but they're like vibrational portals. Like this one is the divine love portal. And look at
Oh,
that
wow.
amazing vision. And
Yeah.
so when I do the meditation visuals that are animated, I sort of come really close to the camera and then
Yeah.
pan back out again. And if you're meditating with these titles, a lot of people tell me I really do receive what you're intending. So it was such a gift from the universe, and it really transformed my life.
So was that day 11/11/2011? Was that the first time your first clairvoyant experience?
Oh no, I had all kinds of clairvoyant experiences, and this is why friends of mine from high school thought, "Oh, she's so weird."
Oh,
Because in high school I would say, "Well, there's a lot of clairvoyance in my mom's side of the family, and my mom and two of her brothers are extremely clairvoyant, and they taught me about this, and because I have this family gift apparently." And they were just like, they just didn't get it, and but yet I would always know things. And so people would come to me and jokingly like, pick the lottery numbers for me. And when I was really young, I want to say when I was very young, I used to just tell my mom things, and she would listen because she knew I was tapped in. And
mhm.
so, and Um, she tells me this story. It just moves me. She says when she first held me right after I was born, she had this sensation that her life was going to change for the better. And then when I was, an infant, two of my uncles that became my spiritual mentors growing up, they would just constantly say, she's an old soul. And I think it's so funny now because I didn't really get it. I mean, but still I knew things. And there was a time I was an exchange student in Italy and I studied fine art in Italy. And that was when I was 18. And so between high school and college, I went and was an exchange student and I did the Italian high school for art. And that was really fun. But when I first got there, these boys were taking me around and showing me the city. And we went to a horse race after. And Heather, it was astounding. I picked every winning horse that day. And they're like, how are you doing this? And I'm like, I really don't know. I can't explain it, but I will say that my family has supported that I have a clairvoyant gift. So I guess it's that. And so these boys were just like, and they were betting more and more because I kept, the winning horses. That was just like some day where I was so tapped in. And, a lot of my guides say when you are your happiest, that's when we will come through, especially archangels. When you're vibing that happy vibe or unconditional love vibe, they instantly come through.
So what spurred you to go to Italy specifically?
Yeah, so I went to the Accademia Albertina, and it's a classic traditional art school. And then they have a branch that's called Liceo Artistico. And so Liceo Artistico is the high school version of Accademia Albertina. And then Accademia Albertina is the college. So because I was an exchange student, I repeated my last year in high school, but at Liceo Artistico.
Know then that your art was going to become your work?
Yes, I had already dedicated since seventh grade myself to art classes. And I was like the president of the art club in high school. And I participated in all the murals. And so we did like a big mural, a group of us at the football stadium. And I participated in like crafting the homecoming floats and things like that. And then painting backdrops for symposiums. And so I got really immersed from seventh grade until the end of my high school. So this Liceo Artistico, like when they interviewed me, I was like, I'm an artist. And in Italy, the high schools are specialized. And so you can go into like Scientifico and study math and science. You can go into Linguistico and study classic languages like Greek and Latin. And then Liceo Artistico is the art one.
Wow. So you had exposure to higher levels of art there than you would have here. Sounds like.
Absolutely, because it was in between high school and art school. So I studied commercial art at the Art Institute of Pittsburgh once I came back from the experience in Italy. So I had fine art training and then I studied commercial art.
Wow. Those two must be very different.
They are very different. Okay, so this is a digital piece. It's the Sun Portal, right?
Yeah.
And it's from a Vivid Vision, and I did it in 5 minutes. And here's the Passion Portal. So these are, like I said,
Wow.
transformational portals that came through. But then this is an acrylic painting that I created, and it's very different because, and this was, I did a paint pour in the background, and if you know anything about paint pours, you just take bottles of paint and kind of like pour them and then move the canvas around. But then
Okay.
I started doing these meditation muses, and so I did a series of meditation muses. So this one's called Galactic Girl because she has stars in her outfit and stars in her hair, and she has her hands in a prayer pose.
Wow. So I saw in your information that your brand is called Colors of Consciousness, and you mentioned that it's actually a spiritual movement. How is this?
Okay, so it has grown into a spiritual movement. At first, it was
Okay.
just these etheric visions for me. And then people would say they're very healing. I feel like I get a sense of peace and calm and even heightened consciousness. Some of the deeper, more spiritual people. So here's an angelic wisdom card. And originally this painting was called Angelic Happy Dance.
Oh.
so how did the movement happen? So, after I had studied along with you with the Quantum Club, thereafter I joined Light Warrior, and they teach you how to bring your spiritual modalities or brands to a larger audience. And so Jesse Wynyard of Light Warrior and I worked one-on-one, and he convinced me to create meditation videos with the titles. And then, because that way, here's the Wheel of Fortune. So this one I have with, wealthy affirmations, prosperity affirmations. And I bring the art like all the way to the camera. So it gives you that feeling of the third eye activation.
Oh, so you do that during as you record the meditation?
Yeah. So I use like CapCut and a series of animation video software, and I'll do the voiceovers and put some royalty-free music behind it, and then I animate my digital paintings. And sometimes I will do it with the traditional paintings. Like the Galactic Girl, I have one video where I'm just reciting daily affirmations that work for me with the Galactic Girl. And I think just getting client feedback, because clients go, I didn't really understand at first. How is it a transformational healing portal activation? But it really is helping me transform. And so it grew into not only the art brand, and I kept doing, I create the art books, and I create the cards, and then I create digital paintings of them as well. And then I sell the prints online. But most recently, I started doing one-on-one mentorships, and I'm working on some course creation as well. So I just keep expanding it. So I guess that's how it's become a spiritual movement, because with the expansion in creativity, it sparks higher awakening consciousness and raising people's vibes. Does it make sense?
Yeah. Well, it's like as you expand into your offering, you're expanding that out into your clients as well.
Right. And because they were so miraculous when they came through as downloads in my third eye, and it helped me immediately, like these visions of my third eye helped, like a pillar of light would transform, around me, and I would feel all of my chakras in alignment during one of these visuals coming through. And so I really got in tune with the help of my guides that, because they came through like this for me, they have this effect on others that are ready to awaken.
So do you continue to channel this frequency in each time you do a creation?
I do. I actually am creating a course on sun gazing and visualization techniques. And so I've been doing it a lot more lately. And I'm teaching a little mini course on how to connect with your archangel spirit guides. So could you ask me the question again, please?
Well, are you channeling through these frequencies each time you create something like your cards or a painting or a meditation? Is there a specific channeled frequency for that work?
Definitely for the meditations. Like I have to be really in the zone and connected with my guides and balance chakras and really in the flow state. And so within the flow state, I meditate quite a lot before I will create a video. Sometimes like creating the cards or the prints, I already have a lot of visuals. So then I put them into, it's kind of more mundane because I put them into layout software and I use Adobe Creative Cloud. So I'll take them into Photoshop and Illustrator. And that's a little bit more left brain.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm excited to see more of your artwork and hear more about how you work with clients. And we're going to take a really quick break. And when we come back, we're going to dig more into both of those. Okay. So you guys stay put. We'll be right back.
Canine Spirit Guides, The Healing Power of Man's Best Friend by Heatherleigh Strom. We've always suspected dogs are magical angels from God. In this groundbreaking book, you'll discover the specific divine gifts our canine companions really possess as they facilitate our healing, elevate our awareness, and expand our consciousness. Man's best friend has their own spirit guides, which is why they appear in our lives just when we need them most. This award-winning book, Canine Spirit Guides, The Healing Power of Man's Best Friend by Heatherleigh Strom, is available on Amazon.com and HeatherleighStrom.com. Get your copy today and begin your journey.
Welcome back, everybody. We're here with Gracie Myers, and her brand is the Colors of Consciousness. Among other things, she is a jack of all trades, I'll tell you. We're going to take a peek at some of her products and some of her pieces she has. You want to show us what you have there, Gracie? Welcome back.
Oh, thank you, Heather. So I have some cards laid out here, and I have one of my art books for the Colors of Consciousness. And this is just a little paperback with different titles from the series. And then...
so some of your artwork is in that book?
Yes, it's all Colors of Consciousness in that book. And the best representation is probably the table of contents.
Oh, wow.
Are you able to see that? So that shows all the art pieces in this book.
Cool.
And the cover is the Divine Love Portal, which I just really feel so much unconditional love when I work with that title. And then on the back, it's got angel wings.
Oh, beautiful. Beautiful.
Thank you. And then I have some cards. Can you see the cards laid out here?
Yeah. Is that your oracle deck that you made?
Yeah, it's my oracle deck. And here's another deck that I have. So it's, the Colors of Consciousness and the paintings. And it's a whole divination deck. So I have these on pre-order for the second edition printing. And
cool.
Yeah, they'll be packaged in a little velvet bag, and then they'll be shrink wrapped inside that bag. And then I have a PDF guidebook that each client gets. So it's an 88-page guidebook that talks about spreads and also extended explanations of how to read every card.
Very good. That sounds like a lot.
It's a lot of work. I mean, I'm constantly creating, so I love it. The part that I don't do as much of, and I am just not drawn to do it, is like the promotions and the marketing, because I could just create all day.
That's hard for creators sometimes to do that part.
But it's important, and when you have your own business, you have to do it all. So,
Yeah,
or when you
yeah,
get big enough, you hire some people too.
yeah. There you go. There you go. So what you got some more pieces there? Some
So
more
yes,
artwork or
so yeah, this one right here is the Sun Spiral, and this is the Sun Spiral is like in the traditional tarot deck, it is the sun. And so it means your ship comes in, things turn out better than you thought they would. It's an amazing card of attainment in the deck. And then over here, I have a canvas print. And this is the world card in my deck.
oh,
And
that's beautiful.
thank you, Heather. It was originally called Dancing Divas Around the World. And if you look
Oh,
closely, it has a male presence next to a female presence, next to a divine male presence and a divine feminine presence. And
wow.
they're like dancing around the world. So when you
Oh,
create like a video of this, then it makes more sense.
yeah.
But
With the
so,
movement.
yeah. So this is a canvas print available on my site.
That's
And
beautiful.
yeah, it's nice. It's the 1-inch gallery um, level canvas. And it's really fun. I do a lot of those and people really like them. So
I heard you're an author too. You've got a couple books out as well.
yeah, so the first brand that I created before the Colors of Consciousness, in 1989, I created a brand called Biff the dog, and this is the
Oh,
plush toy,
look at that.
and this is his girlfriend Bunny, Bunny the girly dog.
Oh,
So these are the kids' plush toys, and
okay.
so I was represented by Hollywood licensing agents in 2015 through 2019, and they were working on getting a cartoon series. And so they asked me to create some children's books. And so this one's
Oh,
called Biff and the Sporty Spoof. And the subtitle is Don't Judge a Dog by His Collar. And
oh, how
then
cute.
inside this book, so it's staged in San Francisco. And Biff and his 4 best friends go around the city looking for creatures that are in need. And in this particular book, they come across G. Raffy. And G. Raffy is a short-necked giraffe that's also short on self-esteem.
Oh,
And
poor giraffe.
yeah, he's trying to get on the Mean Giraffes basketball team, and he's having no luck. But if you can
Oh,
see, Biff the dog's collar lights up, and it alerts them that somebody needs help. And so they go through the entire book, and I can't reveal the surprise ending, but G. Raffy has a hard time making it on that team.
oh.
But it's a really fun book, and it encourages people, I mean, little kids and families, to authentically be who you are and don't try to be something that you're not. Because G.
Yeah.
Raffy just really wasn't made out for sports. He ends up being a mastermind at something else.
Awesome.
And then
That's
go ahead.
that's an important message. That's incredible.
And this was the first book. It's called Biff and the Miracle Collar. And he finds this collar going through the city with his friends. He finds it in a scary neighborhood. And let me see if I can find it. And he finds it like just in a dumpster, and he puts it on. And it ends up not being, he can't get it off. So it's kind of like the sword in the stone, like it was meant for him, and he can't get it off. But then he tries to help this zany wizard, and this zany wizard almost falls off of a building, and Biff saves him. And so the zany wizard makes his collar magical. So it
Oh,
lights up when there's a creature in need, and when it lights up, it leads he and his friends to help whoever's in need. So it's a really sweet story. And
Yeah.
because wearing a big spike collar was originally like scary for people. There's a whole scene in the book where people would run from him because they think he's a mean dog.
Yeah.
And he's not. He's a nice, loyal dog. And so with the magical collar, I think my favorite quote in the book is, "From now on, your spike collar will shine bright with every color of the rainbow, Biff. May you shine light and friendship and love on every darkened path for others to follow." It's super sweet,
Oh,
for kids.
yeah.
So,
Beautiful.
and then because Don't Judge a Dog by His Collar was a thing, then I worked with a pet products company that do bee certified, sustainably made, eco-friendly products. So we created the dog collars.
Oh my goodness. That's an
And
actual dog collar?
yeah, so this is for a big dog, and then this is for a medium-sized dog. And this is called Spiked Plush Products. And so I have an LLC, Spiked Plush Products LLC, and here's for a little kitty cat or a small dog.
Oh, I
And then
see.
so this one's fun. It's called Spiked Plush
Okay.
Products. And then I created these in Biff's likeness, these dog toys.
Oh,
And they've got the spikes. And this
that's
bigger
cute.
toy has tugging legs for dogs that like to chew on ropes.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then it's a 2-in-1 squeaker toy, so the little collar comes off.
Oh, how cool.
And these are just, in Biff's likeness so these are Biff and Spiked. And so you can see how much of a likeness there is
Oh,
to these
yeah.
toys. And then I love this little cute product. This is a spiked pet bed. And
Oh,
it's amazingly made. It's got the rainbow motif on the surprise on the bottom, and it kind of coincides with the rainbow colors of the books. And these are
oh.
amazing products, Heather. Like, they did an awesome job. It unzips and you can wash the cover,
Uh-huh.
and it's got sustainably made planet fill. So their fill is not like poly fiber like traditional plush. It's made from recycled plastic bottles.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and so that's how they landed their B certification, because it's people using business as a force for good. B certification. I'm sure you've seen all kinds of products with the B
Yeah, I
certification.
love it.
So that's all.
I
That's
love
the
it.
brands that happened before the colors of consciousness came through.
Wow, you're a busy woman.
Yeah.
Busy woman. I would love to hear about all the work that you do with your clients, Gracie.
Thank you for asking. So I have various levels of clients, and a lot of them are just followers that engage and they comment on social media. But then I'm also working with one-on-one mentorships recently, and I had a small promotion where I did a really good price and I got 5 clients. And so they were varying levels of awakened consciousness, from somebody really adept to somebody just starting out. So that was really interesting, Heather, because I had to really start with basics in the course creation, but then expand into those that are ready to receive greater, enlightenment, if you will.
Yeah, and so what sort of services are you offering
Um,
in these programs?
So I offer one-on-one readings that are really well priced on my website. And then I also am creating 2 courses currently. One is how to work with the archangels and how to channel their messages. And the other one is, well, I already finished the Colors of Consciousness course. And so that is taking the lessons that are in the cards from the guidebook and taking people into meditations and activations with breath work and chakra alignment, to really expand their consciousness. And it's all based on the brand, the Colors of Consciousness. And then somebody recently asked me, can you teach me your techniques for sun gazing and the divine visualizations? And so I'm working on how to teach that because it was so innate. It came through me, but I know that I can teach it. So I'm so happy that that client asked. And the other day, for example, one of my clients who was in Singapore, he's having relationship issues. And so we got on a call, and I provided a combination of, this was a very young client, and he was having problems with his girlfriend and saying that she was seeing somebody else. And I was like, oh, but so I pulled cards and I did a reading, but then I kind of gave him some grandmotherly advice laced in with the reading. And so he came back, and I'm going to ask him if I can use what he said as one of the testimonials, because he was like, Gracie, thank you so much. You don't know how much you helped me, and you're just an earth angel. And I was just like really moved because he was very troubled. And so, and then what happened there, Heather, this is amazing. So he's in Singapore, and on that day, it was the celebration of Shiva Yatra. So I had never heard of Shiva Yatra until then, but I knew of the Hindu deity Shiva, and he's a creator god, but he's the destroyer god too. He will destroy stuff that isn't working to create what needs to be, you know, what's your destiny or what's your divine mission. And so he was like, it's really good luck that because we kept trying to get together and our schedules weren't matching up. So when we finally did, after the third reschedule, have our meeting, it was Shiva Yatra. And I was like, wow, that is just amazing. And, you know, I don't really believe that there are coincidences. So that was a gift. And earlier that day, I had somehow made peace with a business partner that I've been fighting with for like a year. And so for me, that was a profound message. Do you know what I mean? Because that relationship was so troubled that I didn't think that we would ever make peace. And I saw him in the gym, and I approached him and said, you know, we really should talk because I want your best, but I feel really wronged. And he was willing to talk to me, and we talked for like an hour. And it was right after that that I met with this client, and he told me about the Shiva Yatra. I was just like,
so you didn't know that was actually going on at the time?
No, but this opportunity to have a very healing forgiveness of each other and the circumstances was a divine gift.
Yeah. That's a really beautiful story. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, thank you.
Gracie, how can people connect with you? How can they reach out to you and learn more about your services and your products?
So they can connect with me on social media. And so I'm on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. I don't have that big of a following on Facebook because I don't really like it as much as the other two platforms. So I do a lot of content, and there's a lot of engaged individuals on my social media. And my website is colorsofconsciousness.com, and that has my paintings and limited edition prints. But then on the About page, it has other links to, you know, pre-ordering the divination decks. And I kind of maybe need to combine all my sites into one, but it's so much work that I haven't done that yet. So there'll be other links for specific products. And there'll be links for meditations too, like a downloadable series of meditations and the art books and different products related to the brands.
Excellent. Excellent. Thank you so much for sharing all of your gifts with us today, Gracie.
Thank you so much, Heather. And this is on Instagram called biffthedog.com. And the website is, at Instagram at Biff the Dog. And it's got the Biff and the spiked stuff. And then the website is biffthedog.com.
Okay, so that's a separate website.
That's a separate website. And then I have 2 Kindle books up on Amazon for these 2 titles. They're not printed edition. These are prototypes. So I'm working on the printed books, but I have the Kindle versions of those 2 books on Amazon. So I can send you some links later.
Okay. All right, we'll put the links in the description. So if anybody wants to connect with Gracie Myers and her colors of consciousness, among other things, check out her links.
Oh, thank you so much, Heather.
You're welcome. Thank you for joining us today. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody. Namaste.
I'd like to once again thank our guest, Gracie Myers, for joining us today and sharing all of her incredible talent and gifts with us. If you're enjoying my program, be sure to come back every week. Save it in your library and share it with your friends. Each episode is filled with compelling spiritual guests or advanced energetic frequencies of the canine spirit guides. If you're looking for more, check out my webpage, heatherleighstrom.com, where you'll find out more information about my special offerings with the canine spirit guides, my one-on-one sessions, my life-changing programs, my memberships and events. I'm Heatherleigh Strom. Don't forget to elevate your frequency and transform your reality. Make life magical. Love ya.